TIL. There is a factory in Iran that makes US, British, and Israeli flags exclusively for burning during protests. I have a friend US who went to Iran, and said it was the most beautiful and friendliest place she had ever seen. The people she met on the street were enthralled to find out she was American. They were nothing but warm and friendly. She said they would let her hold their babies, they would offer them food and drink and sing them songs. They went out of their way to treat Americans with the utmost kindness and hospitality. Yes, there is a lot of anti-American sentiment, but it's not taken as seriously by the vast majority of people who are just looking to live in peace. Interestingly, the article is completely missing the word exclusively, or even any equivalent, so OP is making up a title tangentially related to Flag Factory also sells flags for people to burn and misrepresenting it in that. Qasem Ganjani, who owns the Deepaparcham Flag Factory, said we have no problem with the American and British people. We have a problem with their governors. We have a problem with their presidents, with the wrong policy they have. The world is not divided between East and West. You're American, I am Iranian, we don't know each other, but we talk and we understand each other perfectly. The difference between you and your government is much bigger than the difference between you and me. And the difference between me and my government is much bigger than the difference between me and you. And our governments are very much the same. Marjane Satrapi, Iranian graphic novelist Reza Yi, a quality control manager, who declined to give her first name, said, compared to the cowardly actions of the United States, this is a minimal thing against them. Isn't it similarly cowardly to not give your full name when defending your employer? We have no problem with the American and British people. We have a problem with their governors. We have a problem with their presidents, with the wrong policy they have. Lo'ul note they didn't list Israeli people. If the US ever passes a law banning the burning of the US flag, you can bet that the next day, burning flags with an extra star or stripe so they aren't actual US flags will be up for sale. Markets and everything. Notably, a good burning flag requires a different make. Otherwise, you get a dissatisfied customer because a regular flag is actually pretty tough. I wonder if they use fabric that burns faster so they can sell more or slower so that the addicts of flag burning can last longer than the ones used for regular flags. It's a living. Capital has the ability to subsume all critiques into itself. Even those who would critique capital end up reinforcing it instead. Reminds me of unreachable Kimmy Schmidt. There is a whole arc with the chiefs not changing their name due to the profits from protests. Am I the only one amused by the fact that a factory dedicated to producing shit for people to burn has a quality control manager? During a gold rush, be the guy selling shovels. During times of patriotism, anti-patriotism, be the person selling flags. Amazing! How do they compete against the Chinese factories? I guess the Chinese must be too busy making mega merch. For those interested in some authentic Iranian merch, they seem to have an Instagram account Deepaparcham Koman. They think a murderous, pedophilic slave-driving warlord is the greatest man who ever lived. What do you expect? That's wild. Is there a store in Tehran that sells American flags? You are going to burn this, right? Right? They would have branched out into Swedish flags, but got outcompeted by the local IKEA flag burning kid protest. Well, to be fair, they can't import from the UK or EU as the flags have to be flame retardant. And yet if I try and set up a factory producing special burning editions of the Quran, capitalism abhors vacuum. Anyone know the quality of these flags versus the Chinese ones? I wonder if it's a secret division of Kingsford and they use their match light technology. Smart business strategy. A product that your customers will always need replacements for. It's amazing how powerful of a symbol those flags are for the Iranian government. Lol. Just hope procurement fucks up and get fire retardant material because it's cheaper. If only they realize that people in the UK don't give a shit if they burn the flag. Should seed a few into the supply that are made with C4 integrated into the fibers. It's funny, but like that's some smart business sense. Dude's probably making bank. Ah, the glory of capitalism. Maybe I should start selling communist merchandise. The best part is they have a quality control manager who has to be like Creed. Build them and burn them, at least your inbredways can make a little profit. Must be a nice business considering UK gave independence to half of the world. Burn away. It's probably as much freedom of speech as you can get in Iran. That's funny. I have a factory that just makes copies of the Quran to burn. Why don't they just burn their currency since it's still based on USD? I mean, It's not like they can legally sell them in Minnesota anyway. They are going to need to add the Swedish knot in NATO. 2023 model comes with its own matches and easy to light corners. Now I want to buy one and fly it from the front of my home. Unemployment numbers and literacy are far more dangerous. Sounds like a good place for 30mm. It's literally just pieces of fabric sewed together. They specifically don't use flame-resistant materials. Well, Betsy Ross sure ain't sewing them all ya dingus. Professional victim complex set to maximum in Iran. US does this as well with the Republic of Duraflame. Capitalism, the very thing they hate, finds a way.